Person one loves person two. Guess what? Shenanigans ensue. Person one hates person two. Guess what? Still shenanigans ensue. Person one fake dates person two. Guess what? You guessed it. Shenanigans ensue. Co-host one reports a co-host two. The name of the show? Shenanigans ensue. Yeah. Hello, I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Jane, and welcome to Shenanigans Ensue.
A podcast where charity is no excuse for parking in the loading zone.
There are still rules.
This not sheriff is so confusing.
Each episode we'll watch a rom-com and discuss its merits as a member of the rom-com genre.
We'll cover well-worn classics, hidden gems, and everything in between.
We'll give you our unsolicited opinion on every trope, caper, and flim-flam the film used, or maybe abused.
And of course, the Shenanigans!
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Merry Christmas!
This is actually dropping on Christmas Day.
I know, that's so fun.
That's so much fun.
And we have a very silly, very hot right now Christmas episode for you.
Yes, it's been quite the topic of discussion.
And the most memeable film of the season.
Oh my goodness. And that film is
Hot Frosty!
Which is also an oxymoron,
Yep.
which is just so delightful to me on top of everything else that's so dumb and cheesy about this film.
Because it's Frosty the Snowman, Jack Frost himself, but boy is he a smoke show. That's what we're trying to say here.
One of the things that was so funny to me was the fact that it's actually a Adonis iteration in snowman form.
Oh, yeah.
I thought we're getting like the traditional snowman turning into like this hunky piece of meat.
I knew that this was going to be what it was because it was like a sculpture competition. So I was like,
Yes.
oh yeah, somebody sculpted a ripped ass man in snow. And that's what we're going to get.
So funny.
I was very ready for it.
So dumb.
Also, Dustin Milligan has been on an absolute shred, apparently.
What happened to
He
him?
clearly has been doing an insane amount of training and is
Yeah.
also highly dehydrated based off that one scene where he had been on the roof because those veins be popping.
Yep.
He's on a massive cut. I mean, his abs look incredible, but his body fat percentage is way too low.
It took me so long to recognize him as Ted in Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
And personally, I think he was pretty ripped then as well.
Yeah, I thought he was super hot in that.
Yeah. But that's neither here nor there, really.
I mean, the internet is talking about it. It is
Yeah.
fascinating. Everyone's trying to figure out what the hell they did. Also, everybody's really pissed because why did they give him this awful wig?
Right? I was just going to talk about that. He kind of looks like a ripped version of the centaur in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Kind of. Even with the red scarf. Like right up to
Yeah.
the red scarf.
That's so funny.
Like he really is giving that. Shout out James McAvoy.
Yeah, it's a weird choice. But I guess we had to justify, I suppose, the idea that someone was going to sculpt some, quote, Adonis-y guy, which would then necessitate the longer hair.
Right.
I guess.
I guess.
We're trying to make like a marble statue of a man.
But we're already messing with so much in reality. This is kind of weird.
It is super weird.
This is a kind of weird place to draw a line of like, this is reality.
And it's also too much.
Yeah.
No one styled it for him. It didn't need to be that long. Like,
No.
all they had to do was let him grow his hair for 2 months.
That would have been sufficient.
And that would have been enough hair. Truly. And then, like, give him a nice haircut and you're done. You're done. I don't understand why.
It was a curious choice.
It's really clearly a choice. It was a very bad
It was
choice.
a hard choice.
And I just, like, I want to know why the director or the stylist on the set, I don't know who would be in charge of all of it, but, like, why we needed him to train so hard down to such a crazy body fat percentage.
Yeah. I mean, he's looking quite gaunt in the face, actually.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He's already hot.
He
The
already
fact
is
that
hot. Why are we messing with a hot person already?
he's so hot. He was already hot as Ted.
Right.
Plus, he was like the sweetest baby angel.
Oh,
So, like, him having more ab definition was not necessary.
We didn't need it.
Mm-mm.
Dustin, we love you just the way you are.
That's all we're trying to say here. We're not
Yes.
trying to be like shady.
Exactly.
We're just like concerned that you're dehydrated and hungry.
No wonder him shoving ice cubes in his mouth the whole time was so intense.
That was lunch. No.
Oh, shame.
Those are the big things that the internet is talking about right now, not to mention the fact that we're bringing a snowman to life with a magical scarf. What a truly delightful Christmas movie. What a dumb journey that I will happily go on every Christmas.
It's such a lark. It's so stupid.
So
In
stupid.
such a delightful way. I've been avoiding engaging a lot with the discourse of what's happening and watching videos discussing this film because I wanted us to record first. But it's so much fun and campy. It's what I needed.
It's so happy. I'm so thrilled with it.
But anyway,
Yeah, now that we're done with some general thoughts, shall we hit that plot synopsis?
yeah, let's do it.
When cafe owner Kathy is given a scarf with magical romance properties, she is rather skeptical.
So she naturally drapes it around a very ripped snowman who then comes to life as a very ripped man called Jack.
Shenanigans ensue.
Even just reading the plot synopsis.
I would like to also posit to the audience that he comes to life as a very ripped man with no name.
Ah, true.
Who steals a jumpsuit with the name Jack.
Referencing Jack Frost.
That's too appropriate.
We have to.
Yes, that's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
Okay, so right off the bat, we get this insane, emotionally charged scene with Kathy going to the clothing shop and speaking to one of the proprietors, the slightly older woman who's almost like a motherly character in her life.
Yeah.
Lovely, emotionally charged scene, something about love, the importance of this scarf in this woman's life, and how she's going to gift it to Kathy because she needs to think about love in her own life.
Yes.
Kathy then proceeds to walk a grand total of 5 minutes with this scarf before deciding that a inanimate snowman sculpture from the town's ice sculpture competition should have the scarf more than her.
I really thought that there'd be something more that happens plot-wise
No.
for her to give the scarf away. You know, like, oh, our snowman might win the competition, but it's missing one thing. We don't have a scarf.
Oh my
you
god,
know?
that would make so much more sense.
Something like that. For her giving away this scarf that this woman has just like poured her heart and soul out, but how she met her late husband, and it was because she was wearing this scarf and she wants Kathy to find happiness. That's why she's giving her this precious scarf that she's had all these years.
It's so much.
And she just gets rid of it.
And you've had the scarf for 5 minutes and you're gonna just put it on a random snowman on the street? This woman gave you a precious object and you're like, I don't care. I want the snowman day of it. I don't get that.
I don't know.
And I'm also just trying to figure out the fact that Gretchen Wiener is able to act the scene with such sincerity
Right.
that I'm like, yeah, okay. Truly throughout, I just want to put some respect and appreciation on this woman for acting her absolute heart out through the course of this entire film.
She has so much sincerity without being sickly
No notes.
or overly sweet.
She is not cloying at all, and she
No.
also did not play into any of the cheesiness herself,
Yeah.
because I don't think that that's her role in this film.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, way to play this perfectly sincere with all of the heart without
Yeah.
falling into any of the campiness yourself and letting everyone else be campy around you. Like, truly a spectacular performance from this woman.
And still being funny, but just in a normal person funny way.
Yeah.
Not in a hamming it up, full slapstick way. You know, she was still giving banter and wry looks.
Yeah, she still had one-liners.
Yeah. Well, shall we hit those tropes?
Okay. So, for tropes, we've got montages.
Montages!
Many montages. Marvelous montages.
Mhm.
My oh my, the montages. We've got Music doing the most.
The most.
We have fish out of water. We have reaching for something at the same time and touching. It was so dumb.
Especially when we see it in the bloopers at the end.
Yeah. Really one of the dumbest uses of this. We have a fake out kiss.
Oh, it was a sad fake out kiss.
Yeah. Oh, man. She needs personal space, and so it was a thing, and then, yeah. Okay. Then we have true love's kiss.
Yeah.
Oh. True love's kiss made him a real boy.
A real boy. Oh, boy.
Okay, do you want to, go over some of the montages?
Absolutely, I do.
We have a really quick montage as the opening, as many a rom-com do, showing a little bit of Kathy's life, setting the scene of this town and the people and players within it. Really good choice with the music at the top, which in this case was Jingle Bell Rock, which makes me immediately drop what I'm doing, especially because I'm seeing Gretchen Wiener's face, and start doing the choreography for Mean Girls, which I did in fact do in my home. We'll get into the other references later, but that's a very fun little montage right at the top. And then after receiving the magic scarf, what I call the moody music walk montage for the sculpture viewings, which I also really enjoyed. I love the idea of these small little towns having their cute little main streets, which is already delightful.
Yes.
But the town cares enough to decorate all of this, have a thriving downtown where people put money into their community, and they're having a sculpture competition that is very well attended by incredible artists. What town is this?
The activities in these small towns are always so well organized, so well attended, and then the stuff that turns out is so beautiful.
Absolutely unbelievable.
What's happening?
I don't know. And I love it.
It's so great.
And so that's another really great little montage. But I then want to just jump immediately to we got to get ready for the dance. Let's get him a suit makeover montage.
I called that the pretty woman makeover montage.
The pretty boy makeover montage.
It's the boy, pretty boy. Right down to the reference with Richard Gere snapping the box.
The clamping of the jewelry.
And she does the same with snowman cufflinks.
I lost it.
Oh, it's so funny.
I wrote down pretty woman box chomp.
And then one of the montages between is Jack watching TV montage.
Oh, right.
So him just watching every conceivable thing.
That was so fun.
And how he picks up all these skills just from watching TV.
That was so hilarious to me that he's just picking up skills through osmosis and now he's a very good repairman.
Right?
I assume that's just what his job's going to be now that he's a person.
Mm-hmm.
I also just could not get past the fact that literally a scene before, he's like, I only remember looking at you and then the scarf made me real, so I've known you my entire life, right? And he's watching the TV and suddenly knows that if you see Nosferatu, you make cross symbols with objects so that you can ward away Dracula. I was like, what do you mean? He doesn't know what this is.
The rules for his birth are quite questionable because
the rules don't make any sense.
How does he know language at all?
Truly do not know.
How does he know anything?
He just picks it up.
Yeah.
Loved all of that.
Mm-mm.
And then, of course, we have, at the very, very end of the film, the epilogue, wrapping it up. I'm a real boy now. Christmas montage. It's so cute.
Oh, it is.
It's just wrapping up all of our little loose ends.
Yeah.
She finally gets the heat fixed in her home.
And she does it.
Because he's cold now.
Yeah. That's how we know he's a real boy. And he gets to go to Hawaii, fulfilling a dream he's had for 2 weeks.
5 minutes, yeah.
Or for his entire life.
His entire life, sorry. You're correct. My bad. I'm sorry. I love it. Really excellent uses of the montage.
Absolutely.
Please, more Pretty Woman reference montages. Also, you mentioned this while we were watching it, Jane, but you're absolutely right. He put on so many suits just to then be in the simplest black tux.
That was so funny to me.
We're not mad at the classics.
No.
We're not.
Not at all.
But the montage included such cuts as throwing random fabric into the air and
Yes.
watching it fall down in slow motion. We were trying on a bunch of outfits.
A lot of different outfits, all of them with the red scarf, mind you.
Yeah, because the scarf is the magic part. If he takes that off, he dies.
Yes, I guess.
I have no
Is
idea.
he showering at all with the scarf on?
He doesn't need to shower because he's melting and that's self-cleaning.
Okay.
I've just made that up. I don't know if that tracks at all.
I don't know. Maybe eating just ice and then melting it out is a form of cleaning.
Yeah.
Who knows?
From in to out.
Right.
I don't know. Is there one of the tropes you want to talk about?
I'm obviously going to talk about music doing the most.
Oh, absolutely.
I will run through these at a bit of a clip, but we've got as Kathy is walking in the evening all by herself, about to give this precious scarf away, the music is, it's midnight and I'm sitting all alone. Actually, she's not sitting, she's walking. But, you know, case in point. Then we have the sheriff, played by Craig Robinson, and he is literally in the police station playing on a keyboard, singing, "Crime doesn't pay, you better have your bail, because we're taking you to jail." Stop it. Stupid, can you imagine being arrested for like petty theft or something, and the sheriff is just playing this very petty song to you?
I can't. The sheriff is extra AF the entire time.
Then at the dance, when Kathy and Jack are slow dancing, we have, "When we come together, it's going to be a good, good time." And then the last instance I have here is right after they kiss. It goes, "It feels like I'm falling in love, maybe for the first time." Aww.
It's
So dumb, so silly.
I'm so glad you noticed all of that stuff
And I love it.
because I never notice a lot of the music. So funny.
So funny. It delighted me.
Literally.
So much. All of these instances.
I love it so much.
Is there another one you want to talk about?
Okay, so obviously the fish out of water stuff is going to be referenced in all of the shenanigans, essentially.
Oh,
So we
yeah.
don't have to go into huge depth. But I do want to quickly touch on the reaching for and touching an object at the same time. Because it was so dumb and so out of pocket. And they also don't linger.
No.
They just throw it away and we move on to the next scene. So he's watched a bunch of television and is now a chef, in addition to being a handyman. He's not only started throwing pasta dough for pizza, but he's made the dough from scratch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pop off king.
And he had time to do a practice pizza. So he had a pizza in the fridge for himself because he doesn't want hot pizza.
Quote, "I do not like the oven."
So he's got a pizza in the oven for her. He's got a pizza in the fridge for himself. And they both at the same time reach for the pizza slicer. And they touch hands. And they look at each other sheepishly. And then they just move on to the next scene. That's it.
We just brush right past it.
Yeah.
Like there's no nothing.
It's just done. We just moved the fuck on so quick. I don't know why we bothered, but it was very funny.
I enjoyed it so much more in the bloopers because she's been instructed to giggle and she just can't do it.
And then when she does, because she feels so awkward,
Yeah,
Dustin's like, that's a giggle, that's a giggle.
we got it. That counts.
I genuinely cannot stress enough that this director, Jerry Kichariti, I guess, understood the assignment.
Right.
This guy knows how to film a rom-com. I am obsessed. I'm going to look up all of his movies now because this guy can do the rom-com correctly.
Right. This is what we're looking for.
Yeah. We've also got Russell Hainlin as the writer. And this guy clearly knows how to write a rom-com. Please, give these two more things together.
Right.
And give them as much money as they require. That was delightful. I want them to be pumping these out all year. They should be doing them seasonally.
Season.
And
one a quarter.
one a quarter, going to Netflix. In fact, if you want to just front load them doing the Christmas rom-com over and over and over again and just release all four each Christmas, I'm fine with that.
We can compromise. That's okay.
Yeah, give the people what they want. And what I want as the people is more of these films with these two.
As the people. You
I am
are
the
the
people.
people. Wait, we have to explain that, I feel like.
Yeah, this is an inside joke,
Yes,
folks.
this is an inside joke. So my dad, I can't remember why, started referring to Jasmine as the people.
I think it's because during quarantine, we kept having chats on Zoom. And I think he thought you were like
With
chatting with
multiple
more
people?
than one person.
Perhaps.
And so we kept saying, like, tell the people to
people.
say hi. And the people was just me. So it'd be like, yes, I am the people. Tell your father the people say hello.
It became a whole thing. Also, he could never remember your name, but the people stuck.
And so now it's very well understood between both of her parents that I am the people, and it's very specifically Jasmine. Which is really dumb.
Arguably, nicknames should be dumb.
Correct.
Okay.
Do we want to hit on anything else? Do we want to explain what the True Love's Kiss did?
We can save that for last to touch on it quickly, but I do want to talk about the fake out kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Because fake out kiss kind of encapsulates what this film does so well, which is to be very campy and very over the top and very funny and very dumb, and somehow also have a lot of heart.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Because, okay, so Kathy's husband has passed pretty recently, like I think a couple years ago, of cancer, and how it just comes up is that Jack is
Poking around in the basement.
yeah, and he's like, I was in the basement hiding from Dracula. Oh, that's what he was doing. He was hiding from Dracula.
Yeah, but like you don't need to
And-
hide from Dracula and look through old letters
No.
and find invoices for chemotherapy.
If you are hiding, maybe seek out a place that's less creepy than a basement. Basements are somehow just inherently a little bit scary to me.
Yeah, that's where Dracula would go to sleep, but doy.
Exactly. Anyway, so we've had this funny exchange, and then he's just like, what's cancer? And the way Kathy handles this is the way you would explain it to a child. It's so sweet.
Wait, can I really quick go back though?
Yeah.
Because the part that everyone needs to understand too about him bringing up the chemotherapy and the cancer thing is that he set up this beautiful dinner. Everything looks amazing. He's ripped and looking hot in the kitchen as well. Look at him go.
The tonal shift.
The tonal shift. We're about to eat these delightful pizzas. She's sitting at the table. She's delighted. He's made eggnog for her too. She's getting a little tipsy.
Right, he's made eggnog from scratch.
Yeah, we're in a very cute little moment about to have dinner together. And then he just like, da 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 da, and tonal shift, music change. What's cancer?
Hard shift.
I wrote kitchen scene whiplash. The hardest pivot that ever pivoted.
How did these actors navigate this scene? Because they still did it so well.
I swear to God, no one on this planet currently could have acted that scene better than Dustin. That had to have been the audition scene.
That was so crazy. And then so sweet.
What a masterclass in sincerity.
Her explanation as well of just saying, it's a really bad thing that happens to some people sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, without overloading this being that's just been sentient for like all of 24 hours.
We're still at this place where, even though the doctor's like, yeah, it's a snowman come to life, Kathy is still very insistent that this is a man with a mental health issue
Right.
who was found in town and she's trying to help take care of him. Maybe he has amnesia. I don't know what she thinks this is. So she's really treating him so very gently.
She's treating him with oven mitts on.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes, exactly. So Jack is very exuberant in his affection, and he wants to say, I love you a lot, and hug her a lot, and she's, you know, setting a boundary. She doesn't like to be touched all that much. Now, I know I've given a very long preamble to talk about this fake out kiss, but it's all relevant, I promise. When we get to the dance, and they're outside, and they're looking into each other's eyes, they're having this beautiful moment, and Kathy leans in for the kiss.
Yeah, which is like a total character shift.
Yeah. And he can't do it. And then they go inside and they have a very mature honest, healthy conversation about what just happened.
We love that.
Love to see it. She asks, did I do something wrong? And he says, no, it's just I'm really aware of what happened to your husband and what it must be like to be left behind, and I can't bring myself to do that to you.
He's worried it's going to happen again.
Yeah. Oof.
So sweet.
How is this film that's so dumb, so sweet too? Stop it.
They did such a good job with that whole scene.
Yes, and then she hugs him and he's confused.
She doesn't like hugs.
And she's like, I'm making an exception.
Yay. It's really cute, you guys. I don't understand how they did it.
Shall we quickly do True Love's Kiss and then do the shenanigans?
Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what? F it. Let's explain the whole ending scene. Because, like, we can't explain it without getting into the shenanigans of this whole ass town.
Right. So we're going to segue, kind of.
We're moving into the shenanigans. Okay, so our currently not sheriff but trying to become sheriff again sheriff, Craig Robinson, and his deputy sheriff, Joe Latruglio.
Which is like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine reunion that we love to see.
And it's so good.
It's so good.
Reunited
And it feels so good.
So, we've got this incredible comedic duo back
it.
at it. One of them back in a police uniform, one of them back in the gang. And he's been hot on the case this entire time of the freaky streaker of this town. This lowlife who has streaked in front of this old couple walking their dog.
And broken glass.
Yes, and we're trying to find him.
And stolen clothes that no one is upset about.
And also, like, at this point, he's replaced the glass and also come to apologize about the clothes, and it was fine. They said he can keep them. So, like, everything is totally cool. So this over-the-top sheriff has thrown him into a holding cell inside of the police station. It's way too hot in there, and he starts melting. Obviously, Kathy needs to save him. She goes over, please let him out. What's bail? $2,000. Oh my gosh. She runs out to try to get the cash. He threatens that he's going to have to stay there for 2 days because it's going to be Christmas.
Which, by then, he'll be a puddle.
Correct. And on the way back from the diner where she's ransacked the safe, she mentions in the dining room that she doesn't have the $2,000, that the bail's been set too high. So she runs back to the sheriff's office, pleads with him to accept the money that she has. And the town slowly starts to show up.
The whole freaking town.
Joe Latruglio's character runs up like, it's Christmas. How can you set the bail so high? Distraught. The town is showing up, and everyone passes a hat around, raising the $2,000, an insane amount for this bail. The sheriff is so moved. Finally, too, being called out by his own son.
Yes.
Who you see earlier in scenes at the high school, being a real sweetie pie. Finally, the son even calling his own father out, being like, you're doing too much. It's Christmas, Dad. He's moved. The Christmas spirit has won. And the sheriff says, it's fine. You can take the money back. He can go free. So everyone gets their money back somehow.
It's like the honest system getting the money back.
It's so funny. Kathy runs inside to save him. He's non-responsive. It's extremely upsetting. The deputy sheriff comes and helps, and they drag him outside to get him in the cold. We don't know what's happening.
Well, the doctor's fully like, he's gone. Come on, let's go home.
Literally, it was like so quick.
Yeah.
And then if you want to explain the last little bits of the sweetness at the end.
Oh, the sea of the townspeople has fully parted to allow Kathy and her friend to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then, for some reason, I can't remember why, but she turns around and she goes back to him and she kisses him on the lips. And then, as if by magic, he awakens. He's alive. And everyone cheers and they embrace. And he's like, I feel funny. I feel kind of numb.
And she's like, my guy, you're cold.
And the whole town is like, he feels cold. Do you know what that means?
He's a real boy.
He's a real boy. I mean, they obviously don't say that.
We're saying that.
The spirit of it.
Big Pinocchio energy.
Yeah, very much so. Throughout the film, I was like, this is not sustainable. When winter's over, like, what's gonna happen to him?
I was thinking that the entire time we're at the dance.
Like, he needs to become real somehow.
In my head, I was like, okay, this was my theory.
Okay.
So the only way that they can keep him safe for the spring and summer was that he was gonna have to stay at the diner and live in the walk-in fridge. We have so many shenanigans as well in the rest of this film.
Oh, so many. Shall we just deal with all the shout-outs?
Yeah, let's just hit the shout-outs.
Yeah.
So we already had the Jingle Bell Rock thing, which made me already do the dance from Mean Girls. And then on the television, when she sets him up at the house before she goes back to work, and Netflix put a lot of their own films on the televisions in scenes of other movies.
Yeah.
So she turns on the television. We see the hospital amnesia scene of Lindsay Lohan's Falling for Christmas. So immediately, Kathy says, "Oh, she looks like someone I went to high school with," and then just moves right along. Thank you for addressing it.
Which is the perfect way to do something like that.
Yeah.
It's just so quick. If someone is not familiar with Mean Girls, you wouldn't even note it.
It doesn't take up a whole lot of time.
Exactly. It's such a good way to do this thing.
And also, it just makes me want to believe that this is the same universe. Gretchen Wiener has gone into witness protection because she no longer has her parents' money. Something happened. They've lost it all. She's out here at this tiny town by herself. She started a new life. She had a husband. She lost him.
She opened a cafe.
And she still remembers her days in Chicago. Canonically, I'm like, oh yeah, she's out here. This is actually Gretchen Wiener under a new alias.
So good. We've already dealt with the Pretty Woman reference, but then we also have Kathy referencing A Christmas Prince, where she's like, "What am I, the Queen of Aldovia?"
So dumb.
And then while Jack is watching and we see a bit of Single All the Way from Jennifer Coolidge.
Yes, I forgot that was a good one.
We love to see her. So many shout outs.
So many shout outs. It's so funny.
But like, it doesn't take away a lot of time.
No.
So if you're not familiar with any of these films, like, it doesn't even take up really time or space or anything.
No, which is the right way to handle that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have one?
Oh, I have a couple of quick ones. Right from the top, where I knew, okay, we're in for a treat, is when we open on this magical Christmas house with the lights going and it looks all cozy and warm. Smash cut to next door Kathy's house. Beep, beep, beep. Alarm going off. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be fun.
She has sticky notes all over her entire house for all of the things she still hasn't gotten fixed.
Call the repairman everywhere. And then another quick one is Jack, who's just been transformed into his human form, talking to the other snowman and saying, "If it happened to me, it can happen to you too."
Can I also, too, for that little moment right there where Kathy, so she puts the scarf on him, she walks away, that awful CGI snow
word.
flurry of magic snow.
That was so terrible.
No notes. Please keep it coming.
The transformation.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, with the glowing gold yellow lights and the weird snow movement.
So funny. I'm so happy with it. It was so dumb in the best way.
And then my last little quick one was when the sheriff is showing the sketch of Jack to the townspeople, someone was like, couldn't the lady give a description? Because apparently the man's description wasn't very good. And the sheriff's like,
she couldn't give a description of his face.
Because Jack was running around naked.
So good.
So funny.
I feel like there's a bunch of silly shenanigans around the women of a certain age in this town.
Oh, yeah.
And there's also a bunch of shenanigans around the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
They're living their own lives in this town. There is a separate story happening with those folks.
I have the horny book/wine club.
So good. This woman is driving down the street and is going to cause an accident because she's too busy watching Hot Frosty on the roof with his top off. And then they do an entire overly sexual scene.
Right?
He gets up behind the car and pushes her out of the snowdrift in the most sexual way where they add, what do you call those things?
Innuendo?
No, the music, the bounce wow.
Oh.
Yeah, they literally add sex movie soundtrack backing. Like, it's over the top and everyone's making noises and grunts and stuff. It's just way dumb. And then, of course, she's like, why don't you come to my house right now and hang a light?
And he's like, okay, I'm not really supposed to leave the house, but I can come with you. I just need to go put a shirt on. And she's like, Ah, damn it.
He hung the light, by the way, crooked. But all the ladies ooh and ah.
They're all ogling him.
And then all the ladies are also in the same booth in the diner at the end of the film and are very on board for like anything that's about to happen. Everyone in this town is like, yeah, snowman is a snowman. Sure.
The way everyone in this town is so accepting of the fact that he's a snowman, except for Kathy.
It's so funny.
Also with the ladies' club after he's hung the chandelier and he's like, can someone please give me a lift to the diner? I need to meet up with Kathy. Everyone volunteers. So it's Jack and all these women in a convertible in the middle of winter with the top down.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
Oh my word.
And then some of the shenanigans around the sheriff, just to like hit a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's so extra. He is interrogating people like this is a gritty cop drama in New York City, which it's not.
With the same intensity.
So much intensity. The scene where the sheriff is interrogating Jack about eating ice, and they get into this weird male chest thumping competition over eating the ice together is just so funny. There's also a scene earlier. I don't remember the context of it. I just know that the sheriff was talking to the deputy sheriff, and the two of them are talking about this guy that they have to find. And then Craig's character stops and looks directly over Joe Latruglio's character's shoulder into the camera. And then they shoot the other side, and the deputy sheriff is like, wait, what are you looking at? Looking over his shoulder. And he's like, still looking directly into the camera. This kind of shit. This is the kind of shit that I want.
Just to give you some stats in the town, there has not been a murder in 100 years.
Yes.
And he's so serious. It's really funny. One of my favorite scenes that involves the sheriff is where he is at Reclaim Drags after they're replacing the glass that Jack has broke. And he's like, oh, you can replace the glass, but not the pane.
And they're like, no, we did replace the glass pane.
Yeah, we replaced the whole pane of glass.
He's like, no, like metaphorical pane.
The PAIN pane. And she's like, why would I want to replace that kind of pane? And the sheriff is like, it's a metaphor. And the deputy sheriff is like, oh, maybe it's a pun. And he's like, no, it's a metaphor. You leave the metaphors to me. She's just so intense about everything.
It's so crazy. Love it.
And then some of the deputy sheriff shenanigans is like, how sweet is this man actually, in that he helps Jack to learn how to dance and to know if a woman wants him to kiss her.
Oh, yeah.
It's so cute. And then we have this whole scene of Jack talking up the deputy sheriff because the deputy sheriff is like, how have you not ever been on a date? You like a 10. I'm like a 2. And Jack is like, how can you say that about yourself? Look at you. You're all handsome in your uniform.
It's so cute.
And you're so kind. And you do so good. And I was like, yes, we love to see it.
It's so sweet. He's like, you're a cat.
Yes.
Obsessed.
Non-toxic masculinity. We love to see it.
Yes.
So sweet.
So fun. Delightful. Before we move on, the last little couple of things, like the car scene that they have when they're either on their way to the dance or perhaps leaving it. I can't quite remember. I really want to emphasize before we move on the sweetness and the emotional depth that they managed to capture over and over despite all of this insanity around them.
Yeah. It was a really sweet scene, that moment in the car.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we have a bit of humor in it as well. Where Kathy says, I can't believe I'm getting grief counseling from a snowman.
Yeah.
Jack says with so much sincerity, he's like, no, you're just talking to a friend. I mean, a tenant. And then she's like, no, you were right the first time.
Yeah.
How sweet.
It's so cute. Oh, so nice.
Yeah. Do you have anything? Because I have a shenanigan I want to end on.
There's not a whole lot to say, but at the dance, the fact that he helped with this high school dance, which was very, very sweet. We have the cute little scene with the sheriff's son asking a girl at the school out.
Oh, that was so cute.
And then before they do the little dance combo where Jack knows all of the dance moves as well with the kiddos, which is super adorable. There's also a very sweet moment where Jack goes over to the sheriff's son and says, oh yeah, I brought a date too, I'm nervous, something like that. And the kid's like, oh, which is your date? And he just points, he's like, right over there, the adult. It's very funny. The very sweet throwaway of that.
It was so cute.
Yeah.
Okay, before we move on, one last thing with the sheriff. Right after he's arrested Jack, he says, they might even make a podcast about this. And that's what we're doing right now. We're making a podcast about this.
Yay. So, that brings us to a fun fab fail.
It's a fab for me.
It's a fab. It is so fab.
It's so dumb.
But it's dumb in all the ways that I want things to be dumb.
Yeah.
Every single person who did this understood the assignment. All of them showed up with the correct energy and correct sincerity.
Mm-hmm.
Even the people being campy were sincere about their campiness.
Yeah, the campiness is very sincere.
And it all works. It works because we understood the assignment.
Yeah.
And then you can see in the outtakes at the end, the bloopers, that they clearly were having a really good time goofing around.
Yeah.
Even Craig and Joe together at the piano making up a song. Like, I don't know how much of that was really outtakey, how much of that was planned. Who cares?
Yes.
We're having a delightful time.
It's like a half-planned blooper thing, kind of breaking the fourth wall, kind of not. It's a whole thing. So much fun.
Mm-hmm.
This also shows how much of a difference it makes when you hire actors for something beyond just their looks. Because the four core, shall we say, are all really good comedic actors. This is what they do. And it was so good to just like watch them do their thing.
It was so fun.
Yeah. Even the sheriff and the deputy sheriff, imagine those characters in the hands of actors who are not really comedic actors. It would just be kind of a drag to watch.
Yep, it's important. And I think that you can say the same thing about our two romantic leads as well.
Yes, of course.
Because clearly Lacey is an incredible comedic actor. She's in Mean Girls and very funny.
Yes,
but
hilarious.
Obviously, she has these incredible acting chops for the sincerity as well, because she did such a good job. And I truly, truly believe that this would not have worked without the wide-eyed innocence of the way Dustin can play a character.
Oh, goodness.
It's not doable with anybody else.
The way he navigated that is so good because you have to play naive and a bit dumb, but not to the point where you are annoying and frustrating or it's just like a really hard watch. Like, he's funny, but he's also so sincere.
Yeah. There's like people who play dumb and you're just irritated with them for getting in the way. And then there's people who play head empty and you just want to protect them. And he manages to do the protect them every time.
Yeah.
So good.
It was so good. I would watch this again, like, right now.
Literally. I had so much fun. I would watch it again too.
Literally right now.
What a fun, silly thing.
Yeah, that's also heartwarming. It's everything I want from a Christmas film.
Yeah.
Like, truly.
Yeah, they nailed it.
Yeah.
They really, really did. The amount of times I cackled out loud and kept saying, that's so stupid, which is what I want. Perfect.
No notes.
Yep. Give me more. Speaking of.
Yes. Give me more cheese.
Give me the cheese,
Give me the cheese, please. Gimme.
I want it. Please. Give it to me.
Give me more.
So, I'm ready if you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
3, 2,
2, 1. Hot flaming
Colby Jack.
Cheetos. I love that we complete the parts of the film and his name with this. That's so funny.
Perfect. Okay, I went first last time, I think.
Okay, then I'll go first. So, hot flaming Cheetos. The hot, obviously, because it's a play on the name of the film.
Hot Frosty.
Uh-huh. So, going for, like, the obvious joke there. And then, this movie was, in so many ways, it's a hot mess. Right? But it's so good. And that's how I feel like when I eat hot flaming Cheetos. It's burning my tongue, but it's still so good. Like, you just want more. It's kind of addictive. Like, I want more of this kind of film. And the construction of a Cheeto is so intentionally imperfect. And I feel like so many things can go wrong with it as well. If you leave the bag open and air gets in the way, it can be like really soggy and unpleasant and nasty. And the line that they walked to get this film to be so good is so hard to do, because we've covered rom-coms before which don't quite stick the landing, or not everyone's on the same page, or they abandon the calm aspect of the film halfway through or whatever. Like, it's really hard to actually pull off a rom-com successfully.
Yeah.
Much like getting a snack that has that perfect bite. I mean, there's food scientists that work on these snacks to make sure that it's satisfying in all the ways of like umami and texture and everything. Like, there's a lot more to it to make a junk food than you'd immediately consider, if you know what I mean. And I feel like it's the same with a rom-com. To do it well takes so much more work than you think it does. And yeah, I think this was such a great film. A hot flaming Cheeto is a great snack, not for everyone.
Yeah.
But really delightful. And yeah, that's my cheese.
Perfect. I love it. It's great. It's appropriate for this one. It feels right. Yes. Okay. So I've chosen Colby Jack, which should be very self-evident in a lot of ways. Number one, it's a Jack.
Yes.
This is a cheese that is very, very American, much like the tone of this rom-com is super American, in my opinion.
Right.
The kind of quintessential classic holiday film that we make here. We chug and churn for our Hallmark films. The Colby Jack, which is a mixture of Colby and Monterey Jack. So you get this like marbly, beautiful little cheese. It's mild. It's creamy. You put it on your burgers and you put it in a mac and cheese. It's melting just like Jack. And I also felt like it was very, very important to note that Colby Jack is not a cheese to serve at room temperature. This is a cheese that is best very cold. Keep it cold.
Much like Jack, needs to be kept cold.
Keep it cold. And for those very dumb, on-the-nose reasons,
Love
for me,
it.
This is just a Colby Jack.
Oh.
Well, everyone, there you have it. That was our discussion of Hot Frosty.
Let us know your thoughts on the movie, any shenanigans we may have missed, or what cheese you think it is.
You can follow us on Instagram at shenanigansensoupod, or you can email us at shenanigansensoupod@gmail.com.
We hope you'll join us next time, and until then, I just want to stand tall with you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, she went off.
Oh,
Wait, that's so funny.
It sounds like an alarm going off.
That's my Tamagotchi, ladies and gentlemen, and she went off because she needs to get disciplined.
That's so stressful.
It's so dumb.
What do you do when you're in a show?
Cassidy backstage. That's my Tamagotchi's godparent.
Oh my word, you have a babysitter for your Tamagotchi.